flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Excellent. And if we could start with the approval of the minutes of October 18th, 2021. Did everyone get a chance to look at them?
Motion to approve the minutes as submitted.
Second. And second by Dave. Any comments? Okay, we'll bring it to a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? And I'm going to abstain, so 4-0-1 on that. Okay, public, oh, here, if you want to just sign the minutes. Public participation? Thank you.
She's actually here with CPAC. Is it Elizabeth?
It is.
Elizabeth Mello with CPAC when we get to the revolving account and communication boards.
Oh,
Okay.
Excellent, okay. Excellent, so we're in public participation. Do you want to say anything about the weather or anything?
A little cold for my taste. Came on strong, yeah.
Okay. So, Director of Parks and Recreation report. Brendan?
Thank you. My first item was going to introduce our new recording clerk, but Emily called me today. She's feeling a little under the weather and apologized up and down. I said, don't worry about it. So she will be attending our next meeting. Just quickly, Regan Park, as you remember, a year ago in May, we installed a new light over there, or in November, I guess it's been about a year. One of the lights we've been having, one of the fixtures we've been having a problem with, the vendor came out, took a look at it, and it was a faulty sensor. So the new fixture arrived in my office today. We'll get it installed. So if you guys hear anything, people saying, hey, I thought that light, one of the lights works, one of the fixtures works, the other is on all the time almost. So just in case you hear anything. Disc golf, I mentioned at our last meeting that we had a group interested in helping us update the course a little bit. And on November 4th, we met with a group of disc golf players who have come up with a plan to update the existing course at Simon's. The updates the group proposed would eliminate the current first hole, make some of the other holes more player-friendly, and then update the tee pads and making them safer. It would also add a hole at the end, so you would eliminate the hole that's over by the batting cages in the basketball court, kind of eliminate, throwing into the basketball court. And then I think when teams warm up, some of them come up towards that hill, so it would help eliminate there. We do have, let me just finish. After meeting them virtually, I scheduled a in-person meeting. I met with them on November 15th to walk the course, just to see, in person what they were talking about changes. They all, they're simple changes, but it will help with the playability of the course. There is two current pros. One is a world champ and one is a top 10 ranked player in the world. One of them has played like 1,200 courses throughout the world. They both spoke highly of our course and just wanted to give us some suggestions and make some, help us make some updates and changes. And the tee boxes, one of the things we talked about is the ability to use, talked with Bob Kuna, they have old rolls of turf that were meant for patches for the the current field, which they're putting in a new one. They won't need them. They haven't even touched the rolls, so we do have material to make tee boxes out of. Making them safe and everything is part of the project. So, we do have some material on hand. This group of disc golf players is also willing to contribute to the project, and they're coming back with their final update after we walked. So once they do, we'll have a presentation with the staff, and once it's all worked out, I can have them come here as well if you'd like. If you trust us to make the adjustments that need to be made, we'll take care of that. So something we,
Just one, Bill, if you're,
Yeah, happy to participate, yeah, sure.
because you do the course, right?
I do, I
Right?
played last Sunday.
Right, if there's any advantages you want to get in the redoing
Sure.
it, like
Oh, sure.
if you're a
No
righty,
trees.
you take advantage of it.
Thank you. Yeah,
so I'll share that with you then. Okay, great. Eagle Scouts, over the course of the last year and a half, we've had a couple Eagle Scouts, Eagle Scout candidates perform projects in our parks. In the fall of 2020, Wataru Koram made several improvements to Pathwoods. He created a, I think we talked about it, he created a stroller parking area and installed a bike rack, and then refurbished a bench to make the park more user-friendly for parents and families. We also had Michael Woodilla, who installed 2 Gaga ball pits, one at Regan and one at Wildwood. And both of them were ready to go this summer. And I'd like to invite both of them to a meeting maybe later in December or in January to be recognized for their work. One of them's in college, one's a senior, so getting them together would be great during this break, and just recognize them for their work. So, Northern New England Conference is coming up. It's going to be held January 11th through 13th up at the Red Jacket in North Conway. This is the first year that we'll be returning to in-person. This is really the first conference that we attend that is returning to in-person. There are a number of top quality educational sessions focusing on park and recreation's role in the current environment, meaning pandemic, and working with the community in their needs, but also working on needs of providers, recreation professionals, and some good classes on how to work through the pandemic, both personally in your profession, but also helping residents. And then the keynote speaker is Dave McGill, I can never say his name, McGillivray, who is the race director for the Boston Marathon. He has a sports company as well. So he's going to come and talk about his involvement in the Boston Marathon and just being involved in public events and how that came about. So we're going to be sending some of our staff for this educational opportunity. So
Excellent, maybe you can give you suggestions on the turkey trot. Get it
Yes.
up to 10,000 people.
yeah, that would be tricky. 1,000. Where will we park them all? I think that's it for now. One thing that I didn't add in that I'd like to just add in, we are in the midst of changing bank accounts. The town treasurer went out to did a request for proposals for bank accounts with rates and stuff. So we are changing from Century Bank to, I forget the name of the bank. So if any of you had seen our social media post, we were down for a little while we transitioned. Well, that we're back up and running, but the transition hasn't happened yet. Our credit card processor is requiring additional information. So the new bank account's open, but all of our funds are going into the old bank account, which will stay open for 4 months or so. So won't be any loss of revenue, not in one account to another. So just if you guys had seen on our social media, or anyone says, hey, how come the credit cards were down for a little while, that was the reason behind it. So I think that's it for me.
Okay,
we
questions
get
for
to
Brendan? Okay, so why don't we do the park superintendent report? Bill Baker?
Okay. Some of the things we've been working on, using large blowers on the back of the tractor and the vent track, and leaf box and leaf vacuum, and all our other blowers. We've started to clean up the leaves a couple weeks ago. Had some nice weather. We cleaned up about half of our parks and schools so far. That includes the sidewalks around the parks, along Cambridge Street, Bedford Street, Church Lane, all around Simon's Park. All of our irrigation has been blown out around our parks, schools, and islands. Bathrooms have been winterized at Simon's and Rahanis, except for the field house at Varsity, which we actually, I think it was completely blown out today. So that's winterized as well. The temporary fence around the ball fields at Lower Simons have been taken down for the winter to allow for sledding. The wading pool was winterized and covered for the winter as well. We've been preparing for the holiday season and have checked all of the strings of lights for the common. We've hung about 3/4 of the light strings so far. We had to rent a bucket truck to hang the Christmas lights as our truck's been malfunctioning. It's still out being repaired. We put out the menorah for Hanukkah, which began on November 28th, last night. We will be hanging the flag for Kwanzaa, putting out Santa's mailbox, Santa's sleigh this coming week also. We've had to rearrange the storage of our trucks and equipment to accommodate the DPW Sanders, which are all stored inside our new garage on the left side, taking up quite a bit of space. We've started to get our trucks and plows ready for snow plowing. We winterized our lining machines after soccer finished up and put them away. And we've been keeping up on trash at all our parks and school grounds.
Okay, questions for Bill?
No, thank you.
Steve?
Quick question, Bill. First of all, everything looks great around town. Compliments to yourself and your staff. When is the tree lighting ceremony for people who want?
Sunday.
This coming Sunday?
Yep.
Okay. That's all I got, thank you.
That'll be in the program report, yeah.
It's coming up.
I know
It
there's-
is
All right.
fast.
I know there's a lot of people watching.
Now Kelly doesn't have anything to talk about.
Right?
Hey, Bill, a couple of things. The first is this the second year in a row that we have problems with our bucket truck?
Bucket truck's been kind of consistently a problem. It's been breaking down a lot. We're starting to suspect it was maybe a victim of floods down south, and a lot of the stuff is rotting out, and a lot of the wiring is bad. So we've had some problems with it.
Okay, so it has to get inspected every year.
Yep.
Did we not catch that we were having a problem with it?
It's just been on and off problems. I mean, it seems like pretty consistently. It's been past an inspection, but then would have hydraulic lines go, or this time it's a switch. The high idle switch is gone, and the electrical system inside is a little messed up.
Okay, so is this something we have to get rid of and get a new truck, or do we get rid of the truck
We have to
completely?
think about something. Yeah.
Talk about a plan going forward, would it make more sense if, this is probably the last decent repair that we'll do to it, and then do we look at increasing our budget by adding money in there for rentals?
Rentals.
A month rental here,
Yeah, have
like
to decide
2 or
whether
3 months.
it's worth it to get a truck to keep doing tree work, or if it's worth it to rent a truck whenever we do it. I have to look at it.
Okay, it's,
How long ago we purchased this? This wasn't that long ago.
3 or 4 years
I
ago,
remember
within
we
the
bought
last
it
4
down
years.
south.
Yeah, so, and we looked at it, it operated fine, we had a year's warranty on it. Really didn't have much, I think one thing, the brakes once during the
Brakes.
warranty period, and they covered it, but, it's a little bit more each year, and, I think they diagnosed it as an electrical issue, so that onboard computer,
What was the purchase price? I forget. It was in the,
76, 78, I'd have to look, but
yeah.
right in that range.
Yeah, so that's a major hit.
Yeah, so, I had a conversation with Tommy Lee, the mechanic, about, maybe it makes sense to set aside money in our budget to rent a truck. We know we need it at least for a month or so in October, November, or for the month of November, and we'll need it again in January, February, when we start taking the lights down, but looking at a month rental is a lot cheaper than renting it week by week. And then, maybe adding in some money for another 6 weeks worth of rentals for throughout the year if we have to rent to do some tree work, or anything else, hang things. They use to repair flagpoles when, the hasps and stuff get caught up in the, trucks at the top and stuff. So, something we have to look at, going forward. But
Is
we
there any
can't
other-
keep sinking money into this.
Any other department have a bucket truck?
Yeah, sign, the guy that does signs for the DPW have a bucket truck.
Same size?
It's a little lower, I
Yeah.
think.
So we needed at least 40 feet
Yeah.
to reach.
Right. I mean, we need a bucket truck, but, we gotta do the most cost-effective thing for
Right.
the town.
Affordable to rent it by the month, really.
It's affordable? How
Yeah.
much is it?
I think it's 3,000.
Yeah, 3,500 for a month.
Oh, that ain't
Um,
bad.
No, it's not. So, if you look at 12 to 15,000 in the budget for that, it's more palatable than $5,000-6,000 a year in
Repairs.
repairs.
Well, not only that, we just spent, how much, 3 years ago to purchase
Right.
one?
Right.
Now we're in
Right. So,
Okay. Is Tommy Lee going through the truck?
He's
or-
repairing it now, getting it repaired, yes.
Okay. And he'll give us a report, what he thinks?
yep. His initial one is, suggested maybe this is the last big repair. If we do oil changes and need brakes, every
That's
couple years.
normal.
Right. So, and, I think you guys are really good about taking it out, even in the summer, moving it, so it doesn't just sit idle and, when it's not in use for a couple week stretch, that it gets taken out and run, so.
Okay. Hey, the second thing is, we're gonna do the warrant articles, the revolving stuff. Can we, for the next spring, think about aerating the school fields right in the beginning? The school properties, the front of them,
Sure.
and seating, mentioning it now. The dirt gets on the grass, it doesn't grow. I go by Memorial, Marshall Simons, and I know we've had such good luck with doing the playing fields. It would be nice to take some pride in the schools, the front of them, but I want to mention it now so that, you can plan accordingly.
Yep.
Are you talking about the stretch along the road where the road salt and sand get on it?
Yeah, well, the edge there, but just the grass in general, in front of the school buildings, in front of the town hall. You cut it and everything, but it doesn't really get aerated, the grass seed, stuff like that, right?
Yep. We do seed, we do fertilize it, but not a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If we could shoot for that for next year as being a goal. You could try one school, you could try in front of the town hall, just, it'd be nice every year to try to make something else better. Excellent. Anything else for Bill? Okay, great. And then we'll move on to the programming report. Kelly? Lehman?
Thank you. So we started our winter registration on November 17th. Residents were able to register, and we are pretty much on par for where we were in 2019 as far as our revenue is concerned. Our numbers remain low in a lot of our programs as far as capacity is concerned. So we do have a lot of programs that are full, including a number of our holiday programs. And our Neshoba skiing program is full. We have some fitness classes that are full. So we are excited to see that bounce back with people coming back out to do some programming with us. As we've talked about before, we wanted to stay level during cold and flu season, and hopefully we're able to ramp programming back up to closer to the 2019 level starting in spring of 2022. Non-resident registration will start on December 8th, so we'll be able to see what kind of a bump we get there. We have had several non-residents call and ask when they're able to start registering as well. Also this month, Brendan and Emma visited the LPAC meeting, which is the English Learner Parent Advisory Council. And Emma created a video of what we do at the Burlington Parks and Recreation Department, and also made some visuals on how to register using QR codes, which families can put into their mobile devices, which are typically translated in their language. So we tried to be as accommodating as we can there to see what we can do to bring, to kind of bridge that gap a little bit as far as English learners are concerned within our community. So they were well received at that meeting as well. So we look forward to working with them moving forward. And the last thing on my list is the tree lighting. So the tree lighting Sunday. The tree lighting will start at 4 o'clock. We will have Santa and his friends will be brought to the common via trolley this year. We will have a ginormous gingerbread man to bounce on. We'll have a couple surprises that are still kind of falling into place. We anticipate Santa arriving on the common around 5, and fireworks will be shot as soon as Santa lights all the trees. So approximately 5 o'clock fireworks will be lit. That's a question that we are getting a lot as we get closer to the event, but that's it.
Excellent. Questions for Kelly?
No questions.
Real
Steve?
quick, is there a rain date in case it's raining out, or is it rain or shine?
Yep, Tuesday, December 7th is our inclement weather date, so should be good,
Hopefully we don't need it.
right? Here's hoping.
Looks good. Weather looks good for Sunday.
All right, and Kelly, I wasn't here last meeting. Spooktacular was incredible.
There's a couple people there.
Yeah, oh my gosh, it was just incredible. And the candy drop was just, I was taking video clips of it and sending it to my niece saying, why aren't you here?
Yeah, it definitely was fun.
It was awesome.
Yeah, we met as a staff that Monday, actually, and we talked about some changes we'll make for next year as far as making sure we have enough capacity. But yeah, it was a great day.
Who would know?
Thank you for coming.
Yeah, who would known it was gonna be that big? It was just, because every other year it's good, but it wasn't like that.
Yeah, the weather certainly played
Yeah.
a big role in that as well, so.
And special thanks, Dave, parking lot person.
Thrust into action.
Right?
Yeah, he came-
I just wanted to be
Flagging
Superman
him
on the
down.
crane, but I didn't get
yeah,
Maybe
but
next year.
way to go. He went to help his wife, and next thing you know, he's doing the parking on the grass.
A lot of people.
Yeah, okay, but it was awesome, and I just
Thank
wanted
you.
to congratulate you on it.
Thank you.
Great event.
Thank you. I'll pass that
Okay.
along.
Any other questions? Chairman's report, nothing really, just I think you all got an email from Amy about the conflict of interest. You have to read it and send a response,
Kim, too.
but there was no attachment.
She sent a second one later in the day with an
Okay.
attachment.
So,
This is, 25th?
Yeah.
that's all I have on mine.
Take it
Does
anyway, just
anyone
to
have,
say Backside you've read it.
yeah, anyone have subcommittee reports, anything?
I'm good.
Okay, nothing with the schools?
No, not that I've been made aware of.
Okay, excellent. So why don't we get into new business and we'll do the revolving account first?
Thank you. So the revolving account, as of September 30th, 2021, which ends our third quarter of the year, has a balance of $263,103.17, of which $175,365.90 is reserved for programs and previously approved projects, leaving $87,737.27 unreserved. And we would like to request funds for some projects and events coming up, and just wanted to go through those with you. I'm gonna take them, well, the first one is fence repairs at Overlook. So we had,
Oh, just, Brendan, just one second. Bill, you're new. Do you understand the revolving account?
I do.
Okay, great, thank you.
So, let me just talk, the reserve funds, the total reserve funds are for our programs that are currently going now that we've taken registration for, as well as previously approved. So it's not like, just for anyone watching, that 263 is just, sitting out there and we can spend it on whatever we want. We reserve the money for the programs that are currently ongoing, so we can cover all their costs. And then any previously approved projects, and then there is the balance is what's available for these, to fund these projects. So the first one is a simple one, fence repairs at Overlook. So the playground fence is in need of basically an overhaul, complete overhaul. We have received some calls and emails from neighbors in the area that we're hoping to see a little improvement in that playground. They mentioned, how all the other parks look really nice. They use it. And we have seen people up there. I know when the garage was up there, you probably saw people coming in as well. So staff went through and made some improvements, fixed some things, cleaned it up, added mulch, but we just need that fence redone. And so we received a quote, and I am requesting the Recreation Commission vote to appropriate $5,200 from the revolving account for repairs to the existing fence at Overlook Park.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, motion by Steve, second by Tom. Discussion, anyone? I personally have been up there and, yeah, if it's gonna be a playground, it needs work.
Yep.
Yep, so thank you for bringing it up.
Yep, that'll include a gate as well, adding a gate back to it. So the gate went missing.
Okay, let's bring it to a vote. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Oppose, abstain, so 5-0-0.
So the next one, Emma Jones is our therapeutic recreation specialist. So she's gonna introduce this one, but we also have Elizabeth Mello with CPAC, who can speak to this as well. So I'm gonna turn this one over to Emma.
So we're requesting communication boards be implemented at Wildwood, Regan, and Simons Park. These are boards that would allow further access to communicate without the use of a device or any sort of assistive technology. Each board is a sign that contains symbols paired with words, which residents can use to communicate. We've selected these boards for a very specific reason. So Kelly and I did some research on the different companies that offer these boards. There's many. And we've selected Talk to Me Technologies. So we selected these specifically because they were created by speech language pathologists and vocabulary design specialists. We believe that these boards encompass the most robust vocabulary we could ask for in terms of play specifically. And it encompasses a wide range of ages and abilities. So this would specifically benefit the entire community of Burlington, but more specifically individuals who are first learning to speak, so that preschool and under age category, as well as youth that are still developing their vocabulary, individuals with speech and language delays or impairments, individuals who communicate using assistive technology devices and or AAC devices, individuals with disabilities, without disabilities, and the entire community of Burlington. These boards specifically focus on peer-to-peer communication, parent and caregiver communication, and opportunities for device-free play. So the idea that you could put your iPad down that maybe you typically use to communicate all day long and then go play freely on our playground structure is the end goal. And what drew us specifically to these boards were the details and options that were available with them. So they include options to include ASL, options to include a social story that goes through the motions of what you might do when you're playing. So for someone with maybe a cognitive or developmental disability, it goes through, I'm putting my device down, I head over to the slide, and then I do this next, and it goes through the motions of what that might look like for them. It also includes options to include customized words and symbols. So if there's something we felt really strongly about having on our boards, we'd have the option to include that. It also includes various options for styles of communication boards. So in your packet, there are images of the different boards that we would be looking for. There's an image on the front, and then different options that we're interested in installing. Finally, there are also mobile options to be able to move smaller communication boards around. So for something like our Spooktacular, maybe someone is attending that uses a speech device, or maybe there is a younger participant who may be just developing their vocabulary. They have boards that are available on A-frame size so that we could take them to each of our special events and have that access there as well. We do also have Elizabeth Mello here to talk a little bit further about her opinion regarding the communication boards, and she is an executive board member of Special Education Parent Advisory Committee. Yes. So I'm gonna let her share next.
Am I fine to speak like
Yeah,
this?
if you want to just stand up right by the white table.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Elizabeth Mello, 13-year resident here in Burlington. I have 3 children. My youngest is an augmentative communication user, so she uses what's called a Tobii eye gaze, who uses her eyes to choose symbols on a computer that then speak for her. So this is, something that certainly is something that we would love to see at our parks, at the school buildings, which I think is in the works as well. And I think we've had some parents come to CPAC, and I think that's kind of what happened is one of our CPAC board members reached out to Emma and kind of talking about doing this. It's just a great opportunity for kids to have access to language in a place that maybe they wouldn't be able to. Or like Emma said, a lot of kids are, for example, my daughter's eye gaze is a computer. It's the size of a small computer. It weighs probably 15 pounds. She's not carrying it with her. It attaches to her wheelchair. But some other children use an iPad, which may or may not be safe to carry around on a playground and going down a slide or running through a structure. So this gives kids an opportunity to kind of play freely, hands-free, but also be able to kind of communicate and things like, faster if they're being, pushed on a swing or, express the desire to do something again. It just opens up opportunities. And I love the opportunity for, early language learners, those young children, oftentimes we see young children signing, but this is just another method for young children to be able to communicate in the moment. So I think it's wonderful. And I love the A-frames. I mean, I said that. I want them to be a little bit more mobile. The big signs are great, but the mobility of an A-frame that can move in a park a little bit allows a child to be engaged in play and be able to go quickly to a device instead of having to walk across the park to this larger thing. So just my thoughts, my ideas, but I think it's great.
Excellent. Comments, questions? Anyone?
I'd just like to make a motion first that the commission vote to appropriate up to $5,000 from the revolving account for the purchase of 3 communication boards and an A-frame.
Okay.
Second.
A second by Dave. Okay. And so is there any,
I just express my support for the motion. I think it's a great idea, and thank you for coming out this evening and sharing. And to me, it's ultimately, maybe we're going to see a lot of these in a bunch of different places because they seem to be an effective way for people with those types of issues to be able to communicate. So to me, there's no reason not to do it.
okay, on this side?
I would only say, do we need more?
I think our goal is
Yes.
every playground, so yes. And, any new playground, I think this will be part of the equipment that will go into a playground, 100%.
So if you look at the proposal, Dave, we're getting 4 different types of communication boards. We're gonna get a post-mounted one, we're gonna get a flat aluminum one to hopefully put on the shed down at Regan, and we're gonna get a vinyl one with grommets to go on a fence at Simon's, thinking that eventually we are going to be able to upgrade that playground. So we don't wanna install something that we just have to uninstall, in the coming years. I think once we get a grasp on how they're used, not only by the public, but by our programming staff, we're gonna come back and say like, this is what we think we need at these playgrounds. And we are working with CPAC to develop a way that maybe they could also be installed on school properties as well. We thought it important to focus on our properties first and then partner with the school and CPAC to focus on their properties. So in your packet, you'll see letters of support from CPAC and a parent of a child with a disability as well.
Okay, if there's nothing else, let's bring it to a vote. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Oppose, abstain, so 5-0-0. Even when I don't understand things, when Kelly proposes it, it's like, oh, it must be good. So good luck with it, I hope it works.
Kelly, can you propose the next two items? Okay, thank you, and thank you guys for putting that work together, and thank you, Elizabeth, for coming out tonight as well. Just another collaboration between Parks and Recreation and community groups, and as well as the schools. I know the talk has been out there with the schools as well, so. Next item is, grass seed and fertilizer for our field maintenance program. We are coming off, obviously, a very successful year with our field maintenance program, aided by some excellent weather, but also, dedication of our staff and getting things out in a timely manner and staying on top of them. So in planning for next year, I sit down at the end of the fall and work out a plan for next year. We have been notified that there will be sizable increases in product. A lot of people are rushing to order supplies so they have them in stock, so we don't get caught next year without the right amounts of fertilizer and seed. It's typical, the increases are due to typical things like supply chain, fuel cost, inflation, things like that. But on the seed end of it, the seed we use in our environment, or in our area, is grown in Washington State, Oregon, in a specific environment that's usually cool weather. It's good for growing the grasses, the seed. Well, this year, they had like San Diego type weather all year, so it never really got to that cooler temperature for a sustained period of time. So they're down about 40% in the amount of seed that they were able to produce, which will affect us next year, and they don't feel like they'll be able to get caught up until next fall. So that being said, we went through our program in all of the fields, and I will say our consultant was super impressed with our fields. On multiple occasions throughout the year when he comes out, he's made comments that we probably have the best recreational fields north of Boston, which I take pride in, and I hope Bill does, and our staff should know that as well, the work that they put in, so, and that the program is working. So, that being said, if we're able to pre-order our materials and take delivery of the product before March 1st, we can save up to 15%. We can also, if we take delivery before March 1st, we can receive another 10% credit on our account going forward, so for a future purchase. In this mix of seed and fertilizer, we have identified some of our lower wear areas, like our baseball and softball outfields, have really responded well to the treatments we've done, that we can eliminate one treatment. So it cuts back on what we'll have to do come the summer. One of the products that we'll be putting on our baseball and softball fields is combined this time with Aceleprym, which we use for grub control and treatment of different funguses and insects. So we won't have to apply that in in June when we usually do. This will go down in April or early May and carry us through August. So we'll then kind of skip a treatment on those fields. So there is a cost savings as well, but you don't really see it because the cost increased with some other things. But So I am proposing, or requesting, the commission vote to approve $25,000 from the revolving account to put towards the field maintenance and fertilization program. There are still, this does include school fields, and the schools have set aside $20,000 this year as well for the maintenance of Francis Wyman. So we probably won't eat up the 25, but I want to make sure we have enough to cover all of our costs. And I think, trying to get a savings and ahead of the game now, pre-order is the way to go, especially knowing that there are continued supply chain demand issues, and fuel costs are not going down. So all of those things wrapped into one, I think it's a no-brainer for us.
Okay. Steve?
Mr. Chairman, I move that the commission vote to approve the sum of up to $25,000 from the revolving account to put towards the field maintenance and fertilization program.
Okay, second by Dave. Questions? I just have, where are we gonna store it?
So we're not gonna take delivery of it until March 1st. Bill and I talked, we feel that some of the trucks, or some of the equipment that we're storing at Overlook, we could put there, but there's also a storage container up there that Central Maintenance put there for old spare tires, that once it's cleaned out, which, have you had a chance to connect with
I
them
don't
yet?
think it's cleaned out yet, but.
But
it will
we'll be able to put it in there.
So we're not gonna have anything get damaged
No.
because it got wet or
Nope.
anything
No,
like
it's
that?
a large container, weatherproof behind the old shop.
Okay.
It,
excellent.
actually, some of this is a last treatment this fall, some of the fertilizer. So we'll take delivery of that and put the product
I just
out.
didn't want it to get
Yep.
ruined, so that's.
No, it won't get ruined.
Okay, great. Can we bring it to a vote? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Oppose and abstain, so 5-0-0.
And then my last item here is, every couple of years, we send out our large mowers, so we maintain them throughout the year. And then we send them out every couple of years for really a once-over from the vendors. And I know we sent it out 3 years ago, I think it was the last time under Rich. And as I stated in here, as a byproduct of the success of our program, they're being used constantly, and with good weather, we don't always get a chance to stop and really go through the machines. They get their daily maintenance and greasing the fittings and stuff like that, and replacing blades when we have to, replacing tires when we have to. But a good check of the equipment by the vendor is always good for us. So looking to, or I'm requesting commission vote to approve $10,000 from the revolving account to put towards winter service of our mowers by the authorized dealers.
Excellent. Steve?
Mr. Chairman, I move that the commission vote to approve the sum of $10,000 from the revolving account to put towards winter service of our mowers by the authorized dealers.
Okay, and a second?
Second.
Okay, by Bill. Any discussion? It's a great idea. So, let's bring it to a vote. All in favor, say aye.
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 Oppose? Abstain? All right, that was great. That used quite a sum of money. Hey, years ago, there was a vote that money be put aside every year for small equipment for the maintenance department. Is that still being done?
No, I don't, there are some items that I think we can take out of the budget to cover if we need additional. I think, we kind of moved in the middle of the season and still getting some things organized, and then with, sharing the space with the DPW Sanders, we'll probably have would you say a list coming up of things we could need going into the spring?
Yep.
Okay, the vote was that $1 per program would go towards a fund to buy incidental equipment. the chainsaws, weed whackers, things like that. Just to make sure it's getting used that way.
Yep, I mean, we take care of it out of the budget. If we need something beyond that, we'd definitely
Okay, but it was
vote
voted
from the
on years
revolving
ago.
account.
The idea was the trucks didn't have all the equipment on them when they needed it, and that was a way to make sure they were always equipped so that we weren't wasting time.
$1 per person.
Excellent. Okay, any other new business? Or am I, we good?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was
any other-
asking a clarifying question, I'm sorry.
Okay. Any other new business?
The only other new business I have is, I received an email from Peter Capola, who is on the, I'm gonna butcher this, semi-quincentennial, so the 250th anniversary of the country, on that committee, and would like to come and discuss that committee and possibly have someone from Parks and Recreation on that, because there will be things that they'll need from us, some projects to get done. So a celebration in 2026, and he's getting the committee together now. So if there's someone that would like to be on that. So he would like to come and discuss that at our next meeting. So I just wanted to give everyone a heads up. When we schedule that, I'll reach out to him and let him know when it is, and he'll be an agenda item.
Okay, perfect. Any old business?
I think you skipped the capital plan.
Oh, I'm sorry. We
Oh,
went
yes.
out of
Yeah,
order,
yeah.
so.
I thought you were going to that next,
Yeah,
sorry.
I'm sorry. On the 10-year capital plan?
Yep. So,
I was moving right along. I was trying to do as well as Steve did last meeting.
Get us home for supper.
I don't need it. So, just go back.
Sorry
Is
about
it-
that. Thank you, Kelly.
It's okay.
As I mentioned in my report, we are working on our 10-year capital plan for the department. I recently met with the maintenance division to discuss the current plan and any changes. We had a good discussion. We're able to identify some immediate needs. And I know I put as well as make adjustments to the existing plan. What I meant to say is that will be adjustments to the existing plan. But I will be meeting with the program division this week, and once, we'll go over the current plan and look at any adjustments and any additional items. Once I have both of those together, I will present it here, as the new updated plan. But just in looking at the current plan as it existed from last year going forward to FY 2031, this year, some of the items that were on there, looking at fixing the drainage issue at Rotary, renovating or expanding the Visco building and bathroom, renovating the basketball courts at Simons Park with new lights, replacing the wooden bridge at Rahanis, create a sensory room at the Recreation Department, Simons Park accessible walkway, Phase 2, other permanent create a permanent TR space at Simons Park, and then a treehouse at Simons Park, which was a Simons Trust special request, and I may have more information on that at our next meeting. So, those were some of the items that were on there. I do envision some of those, being pushed off, and other items from both the program and the maintenance division that may be more pressing at this time to make an appearance on there. We did receive an email, I think Steve, you had sent an email today with one of the projects that's listed down in 27, which I believe is the veterans, expanding the parking, creating a second entrance at veterans. That can be, looked at as consideration in all of our items and how they fall and the importance in the safety measures. It is a tough one. When I worked here prior, we talked about it then too. I think it's been on there for a long time. It's just, how do you do that? It's gonna be some engineering, but also, traffic control is gonna have to get on there for safety and figuring that out. If we're able to create another entrance or exit, do you make it one way? You know, one way in and then one way out, so there's not, you know, a battle coming in and, you know, and how that works, so. You know, you had mentioned in an email, was there any, like, suggestion, you know, on how it could be done? I didn't know if that was part of conversation.
I remember years ago, they had a lot of T-ball at my field, and my son played T-ball, and Tom, you might have been over there a lot too. They'd have the T-ball at 5 or 6 o'clock in the afternoon, and it's like the worst parking lot I've ever pulled into, and it's even worse getting out, particularly when you've got a bunch of parents all trying to get out at the same time. And to me, it's not a good, it's almost a corner type situation too, when you get close to, was it Westwood Road, I think it was
Yep.
down to Fox Hill. So when we look at, over the years I was on the school committee, when we were looking at capital plan items, we always try to prioritize things that had the word safety attached to them, and I see a lot of wonderful programs and projects here. But I think this is more of a safety issue than most of the other ones that are on the list. So I just think we ought to take care of it before something bad happens. I'm amazed nothing bad has happened so far. I mean, I don't really know if there have been accidents over there. I know there's ledge over there.
Yeah.
So I thought 30,000 might even be a little conservative, because it looks like we
Probably
have to
is.
remove some ledge over at the playground. And I agree that if we'd made it one way in and one way out, that would probably improve the safety as well. But I think it's something that we can do, particularly with the assistance of the town. Maybe the town engineers can design something.
That would likely require a site plan review too.
I would think so, yeah. Yeah, I thought about that myself as you sent that email in. It's a very dangerous spot as you come over the hill as well as you're coming from Wilmington down. And, you know, my experience with that field is that when you had the one entrance, if you're coming north, you basically bottom up over that, right? If you had a lower car.
Got a
Minivan's not a problem, but, so I think if you try to put another separate entrance on there or exit off there, if you put it down lower, I think as you pop over 62, I think it's probably dangerous. So probably coming in from the north and then out the same exit that they have now is probably the best play there, maybe taking over the basketball court there. But when we were there, we used to park over on Gettick Street, right across the street and cross over, which was not necessarily safe because you have the same hills. So I would agree with you, that's probably something needed from a safety standpoint.
And I think that's been part of the issue over the years, is creating a different entrance or another entrance, is you do have that hill, so coming in from inbound from Wilmington, you're coming, and then if there's a car
Yep.
pulling out, you know, you have that downhill. Talked, I think about one time, straight, I don't know, the road is straight across from the flagpole.
Let's
but
get it.
That's Gettick, oh, thank you. You know, creating a entrance there, but then, again, you get it halfway down that hill, so. I can reach out to engineering and have them take a peek, but also, see if it's something that, traffic safety, the traffic committee, and the officer there can maybe go take a look and get, you know, their opinion, and then maybe get together with engineering and them and see if there's something that can be done. Yeah, it is just a tricky,
Yeah.
entrance, so.
Okay, something maybe we could push sooner then. If,
Yeah, we'll have to get them involved and see, you know, what kind of time the engineer has to look at that, and then start moving forward. I'm gonna say probably not as soon as this year, but maybe move it up from 27 if it's something that we can find a feasible, and reasonable, way to address.
I think the town would support it also, if we went before the town and asked for funding to improve that area. Everybody knows how bad it is, so
Yeah.
I think we get a great deal of support.
Probably get some good support, yeah.
I have one other question, Mr.
sure,
Chairman.
keep on going.
Brendan, I noticed for FY '23, we have an N/A. I'm not familiar with TR space. What is TR space?
Therapeutic rec,
Okay.
recreation space.
There's nothing there yet, but adding up, and I excluded the Simon's Trust special request, because I assume that's coming out of the Marshall Simon's funding. We're gonna ask them for money.
It would be, a portion of it, yes.
Okay. We got $345,000 in warrant articles. The potentially for FY '23. Do we have any guidance yet from the town as to what our goal might be in terms of
Yeah,
what they're gonna allot to us for?
I think it's going to look similar, everything is gonna look similar to last year, maybe a little bit better. I know, restaurant receipts are, getting back there. Hotel, not so much. But we just got notice that we do have a department heads meeting on December 20th, so I'm gonna guess that that's when they're gonna break it to us. So,
That's all I have.
I could have some hot off the press information at that point. I've asked, but we have not, the town side has not received guidelines at this point. I don't know.
Can you shoot us all an email when you find out at that meeting?
Yep.
Okay, just on my questions, it would be, it's almost December now, so we need to start working on the backup on all these things, so getting someone out to see Simon's Park, have we done that yet? Pictures of all the cracks before it get covered in snow?
Yep. I've
'Cause-
already met with a paving contractor, a Musco light person, and I'm meeting with an electrician this week.
Excellent. So just so we're prepared, because capital budget comes on a lot quicker than
Beginning of
March, right?
February.
Yeah.
Beginning of February.
So we need to start having numbers that are legit.
Well, preliminary.
No, that's awesome. Thank you for doing it. Yeah.
We're looking at 50 to 55 for the lights, just the light system itself, the poles, the fixtures and all that, and a quote of 65 for paving, and then there'll obviously be costs associated with the installation. So that's what I'm working with the electrician. It's someone who installs Musco light system. Again, these are all just quotes to get us that price.
Okay, so compared to 90 that we have here, it could be 150.
Correct. Yep.
Okay.
It's gonna involve moving the poles, because currently the poles are behind the backboards, which is not ideal at all for basketball.
Okay, same with TRW, we started having an engineer look at that to see how we're fixing the drainage. Was it TRW or Rotary?
Rotary. No, I'm not sure if that stays on there or not. So, once we have finalized our discussion with the program staff and work on the items for the maintenance staff, I think those things are gonna change a little bit.
Okay, just, we need to start early.
Yep.
I'm always passionate about that. Okay, anyone else see anything? What's a pump track?
It is a non-pedal bike track. It's a, so you basically get your speed up, and then you can basically, with your body, right, move the bike around the track. They have permanent ones, they have temporary ones, but they're very popular across the country moving this way. And as we typically are a leader in new things, it would probably be one of the first in the area.
Yeah, I think Beverly was looking at potentially installing one, but other than that, I haven't heard anyone else.
As a resident of Beverly, I will ensure that we are the first ones to have one.
Okay,
So,
send us a video someday, see what it is.
Okay.
Sounds like a roller coaster.
we have one.
It looks like a BMX. It looks like a BMX track, the dirt and the hills and whatnot, but you do use your body to pump the bike through. But we can certainly provide you with backup information.
Oh, when we get
to a-
closer.
To get a look at it.
Okay, great. So are we done with new business?
Yep.
Mess up anything else? Old business? We're good?
Yep.
No need for an executive session?
No, there is not.
Any closure on the pickleball noise?
We do need to get together on that, and I can give you my suggestions, and we
Met
should,
with the neighbors?
we need to meet back. You remember she had emailed us, you were
I
on
was
your way
away.
to vacation, so we should get back together on that.
Next
So
meeting.
what I did is I actually was, stood where they had the court was full. I stood basically across the street on Church Lane, and I recorded the sound just right at the house, the closest house that would be there. I went down the street to record, but you couldn't really hear too much there. And you heard a little bit, and pretty much what I would hear with the gun club, and I'm fairly far away from that. So it's that type of sound. And then when the cars come down the street, it completely obliterates the pickleball sound completely. So
Was this with the courts being moved up top?
this was the courts when they were down right next to the house.
Next to the house.
Right, I didn't get an opportunity when the courts were up.
Yeah.
I just didn't have the time that particular week, but, yeah, so I have some thoughts, just, basically recording and hearing what I heard, and, I think where your sound is coming from the bottom area, so if we could extend that sound barrier, I think that's really gonna solve it all the way around, to be honest with you.
Okay, so next meeting, it'll be an agenda item, maybe?
We should have a discussion with the neighbors first,
Yeah, we have a
and
month.
then, so I'll get in touch with you tomorrow and try to figure out a
Okay.
time that we can
Excellent.
meet with them again.
Bill, the only thing is that notice to say that the pickleball courts are gonna be moved, that's still up with the zip ties up there as you enter that sign. I just forgot to bring a knife to cut it, but
I'll get it, I'll grab it for you.
it's just a little housekeeping item.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
Thank
We
you.
won't need that again.
Right, hopefully not.
Yeah, hopefully not. We won't need it again this season.
Right.
Yeah, so, and if anyone's watching, I know we get lots of calls this time of year. We try to keep the nets up as long as possible.
Yeah.
But as the weather starts to change and we get the cold nights and snow events and stuff, it's time for them to come down. The nets don't need to take a beating. So all tennis and pickleball nets, we put it out on social media today, will be coming down this week.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Excellent. Next meeting, Brendan was talking, had looked up some dates. It doesn't sound like we have anything
I didn't see that.
pressing.
Whatever.
So one of the dates was December 20th. Does that,
Day of the meeting.
is that,
Date of the what?
Yep, December 20th this room's available.
yeah, if we want to meet in person?
That a Monday?
It's a Monday.
It's Monday.
Kind of trying to get back to the old routine of
6 o'clock?
6 o'clock on Monday nights. If that,
That works.
okay, so we'll do that, and then if, January 24th is another date, a Monday that this room's available, just so we get a little bit more consistent.
Yep.
And if we need meetings in between, we can do Zoom or see what's available.
Yep.
Okay, just so we can get back into the routine.
Yep.
Okay,
Great.
someone want to make a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Oppose, abstain? Great.